If I got into everything about this episode that I loved, it would mostly just be, look at this thing, isn't it great? And yet, I don't hate the idea of doing that. Sometimes I just want to gush. Egoraptor style. Dude, isn't it awesome how Applejack is like supposed to be uneducated and stuff, and she rejects Big Macintosh's fancy mathematics, which, by the way, 1 pony plus hundreds of apple trees, yeah, that doesn't add up. And yet she uses the phrase bumper crop, which sent me to the dictionary, because, like, she's not educated about things like math and fashion and high society, but she knows her craft super well, and actually has, like, a really sharp wit, so the reality is that she's a highly intelligent pony, whose knowledge simply is in another place. And isn't it insane how the animation quality made such a gigantic leap from episode 3? I mean, in that episode, then, the ponies usually had neutral expressions and poses most of the time, and there weren't a lot of big changes to the basic character models. But now in this episode, it totally opens up, and there's like a shitload of original animations. Many of the animations and a ton of the facial expressions are exclusive to this episode, and I don't only mean the standard Applejack faces with extra lines under the eyes, but I do love those. Isn't it intense how they originally intended for Applejack to be hitting her head on trees to knock down the apples, and that's how they conceptualized this episode? But then they realized how fucking insane and dangerous that sounded, and created this totally awesome concept of Applebucking, which became an integral part of the show's world building. Also, how they still have Applejack hit her head a couple of times, and those mark the noted progressions on her road to insanity. Isn't it a weird inconsistency how Applejack tells Big Macintosh that she can do all the work in a day, but then a week passes between her rounding up all the cows and then attending the award ceremony according to Rainbow Dash? But it's even better this way, because Applejack probably hasn't slept in a week, and I have friends who do this sometimes, and they act exactly like Applejack does here. The speech scene is such a great character exercise, starting with Twilight organizing her cards in this totally OCD way, and getting all nice and prepared to speak, but then the inconsiderate Rainbow Dash interrupts her, followed by Pinkie Pie being ridiculous, and then by Fluttershy, who honestly isn't that considerate anyways, she's just really shy, so this still says something about her character. Isn't the constant dry comedy surrounding Applejack's tired state just the funniest shit you've ever seen? Her dialogue, her performance, and every little thing, like the horrible grinding as she drags that statue away, and there's no music for most of this whole scene, just watch it. And then there's my favorite moment in the entire show, this one.
She seemed fine to me. Woo! Woo!
And oh my god, why is Twilight teleporting around for no reason? Okay, calm down. Man, I love how when Applejack tries to help Pinkie bake, she totally doesn't understand why Pinkie's using these ridiculous ingredients, but she's too tired to question it and is just like, what the fuck am I doing? And then she even rationalized wheat worms as fancy talk for earthworms because that's what exhaustion does to you. No, not baked goods, baked bads. Bunny rampage, alliteration jokes, Applejack passing out in her tipped over cart. I mean, seriously, these aren't just funny, these are classic jokes to me. We're talking about my favorite episode of my favorite show. Can you see where I'm coming from here? At the end, Twilight makes you think, man, she could do Applejack's job in minutes. What a godmother. I'm real glad the town gave me the Pony 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 award, but the real reward is having celery.